Welcome to Dad's class.
Welcome to the podcast where I, Devin Pierce, bring you the tools of my toolbox. So whether you are a parent, going to be one, or just adulting, it is my goal to make sure that you are better equipped for the great adventure that is life. Welcome to Dad's class. We are live over at mixer.com/Dad's class. All one word, no punctuation in that. It is June 8th for our recording day. If it's your first time coming in and involving yourself live in chat, by the way, make sure you say hello. Let me know that you're here. If you have any questions throughout the show, feel free to ask them. I will answer them either as they are relevant to the show or later date after the show. A little post-show Q&A section if there are questions in the chat. And before I forget, because I know I didn't put it in my show notes, I just want to confirm a date. Next week's show will be on the 10th, as per usual, the Wednesday. However, the week after that, the live show will happen on Monday the 15th. I'm getting married on the 19th, so I'm clearing my schedule a few days prior to that because I got to move this entire setup outside. I got some 50-foot cables. We're moving this all outside and setting up these cameras that I have, and we are live streaming our wedding. We have family members out of country and such that would love to attend but can't due to some still standing travel restrictions, and therefore we are using the power of technology to bring our wedding to our family all across the world. It's pretty awesome. So last class, we talked about age-appropriate chores. We looked at teenagers all the way down to tots. We talked about different examples. And hopefully I was able to give you guys some insights or maybe some ideas as to where you could be appropriating your children's time, energies, and life lessons. Then, as per usual, Friday and Saturday evenings, we had I did my video game streaming over at twitch.tv/crownesso. On Saturday, actually, my spouse even joined me on stream, and she played the same game with me and had a great time, actually. It's quite nice having her with us. Yesterday, we had our Top 5 Tuesday, where we talked about 5 random kitchen hacks/tips. Shared you guys just some random things I've picked up on over the years. I absolutely love cooking, so hopefully I would really like to do a few more episodes in the kitchen for Dad's class. Teach you guys a few little tips and tricks here and there for that. So be on the lookout for those. If that's something you're interested in, be sure to also get in touch and let me know. My allergies are starting to come out to play the last few days. It's been fun. Been maintaining the yard, so if it grows, I'm allergic to it pretty much. Today, on the live stream, it'll be one consistent, congruent episode. However, I'm going to be breaking this down into 2 parts for our audio listeners as well as our YouTube viewers. Today's episode is going to be a reflection and extension of a past episode, in the first part anyways. And the second part, we're going to be reading a children's book that is great for helping kids with establishing a positive, healthy, emotional life. Kind of harkens back to the 5 love languages, though taking a different spin at it, looking at happiness as a bucket, our emotional buckets that we carry with us. The book is called, there we go. The book is called Have You Filled a Bucket Today? By Carol McLeod. It'll be my first time doing a reading on here, so I'm opting to make it 2 separate parts. If you guys feel like they can stick together, let me know. Or if you guys never want to hear me do that again, also let me know. But this book does serve as a great reminder for people of all ages about living a positive emotional life and how positivity can breed more positivity. Those kinds of things. I hope you guys enjoy both parts of this week's episode here on Dad's Class. The first part, as I said, we're going to look back to Season 1, Episode 6. We talked about teaching children respect from what we researched on the internet, and we took those definitions, put them together, as well as added a practical sense to it, and came up with our own definition as to how we use respect and feel respect, the true meaning, in essence. We defined it as an attitude generated by mutual positive treatment, trust, and helps an individual succeed in all aspects of life. We also looked at the golden rule. We talked about the whole do unto others as you would have them do unto you. From that, we talked about the fact that you being a role model for anyone who is around you, not just your children, but you are a role model for every person you interact with. How you behave shows others how you expect them to behave. So we did tie that golden rule into the role modeling of that golden rule. And we really focused on teaching things to your children by leading that positive example. If you want to have respectful children, you have to be a respectful adult. From that, though, this week, I wanted to expand on that. Take that golden rule and pull it apart. If you're not familiar with the term humanism or humanist, it is this concept of believing in people more so than a higher power or a deity. And from that, I once upon a time came across an image from Pinterest, maybe. That's where I found it today. I have it saved as the background on my iPad, as I love the message it gives, the portrayal of this idea of believing in your fellow man. And it ties into respect, because in order to treat others with respect, we have to have a sense of belief in others. If you are hungry, I will offer you food. If you are thirsty, I will offer you water. If you are cold, I will offer warmth. If you are in need, ask, and I will give. If you are in trouble, ask, and I will help. I do not do these things in hopes of being rewarded or out of fear of being punished. I do these things because I know them to be right. I don't know, that's a lot to put on a single little 1x1 square for Pinterest, but it really is a beautiful message and extension of taking care, being your brother's keeper, as it were, and showing each other respect and extending that respect into taking care of one another. The reason I'm bringing these things up and tying these things together is in response to the things going on in the United States. In the original episode, we spoke on the ideas required to portray respect as role models. We talked about actively listening. You know, the nose with the toes thing we come up with here on the show all the time. Understanding that person when they're talking to you, not just hearing them, but understanding them. And this is a part of this message that I would like to get across today. Reliability, you know, doing what you say you're going to do. There are a lot of people who the world will be watching as this situation that's going on progresses to see if they are reliable and whether they are following through on positive things or negative things, so long as they're following through with them, proving their reliability. And hopefully they choose good words to be reliable for. We also gotta consider that respect is shown by being polite, fair, and honest. I know right now, for the situation, the protests that are going on in the United States, and presumably there will be more to come around the world, has a lot to do with people not feeling that they are being treated fairly, and that people aren't being honest with themselves about the situation that other people are in. The last point that we brought up in role modeling is giving trust to our children so that they can trust in us and know how to be respected by other people. And we do that by giving them those choices that we talk about often here on the show. These are all things that we need to be looking for and striving for right now, especially with what's going on. And I'm in Canada. I'm in a part of Canada where I don't see these types of things. Not to say that they don't happen, but regardless of where you are in the world, anywhere in the world, public activism and demands for change will only take you so far. We were in a seminar back in February where a psychiatrist that was hosting it, she spoke about generational damage and how the effects of a negative impact on one generation can take anywhere from 7 to 9 generations to heal from. We aren't past that break in generational point since slavery was abolished in the United States. We are still healing from then as a globe, as a global society. We must all be making a stand for change within our own homes. And we can do that by teaching our children to respect other people. If we want the world to make progress towards being a better world, we have to show that to our children in the hopes that they will carry those lessons forward and teach their children. And we will grow upon those lessons in a positive way. We need to be accepting of other people, their traditions and cultures. If you are showing respect to others, your children will learn to do the same. Call out racism, sexism, and bullshit for what it is. Don't be silent about it. And your kids will learn that too. The protests and publicity that's occurring in the United States right now about these injustices that have occurred and continue to occur are a great catalyst to motivate us as a global society, not just within the United States, but around the world, to do better, to be better. And we need to keep that momentum moving, keep us progressing towards a better world. And we should be teaching our children to do the exact same. I hope that a lot of good comes out of what is going on right now in current events. And I want to carry that hope forward. This first part of this recording is a little heavy. I wanted to use what we've talked about here on the show and take it and connect it to what's going on now to really emphasize its importance.
Question of the week.
This week's question, I didn't actually have time to write one down. But my question to you, I want to make sure I get the wording on this right. How will you do better? Because we all can, and that's something to think about. As with every episode, I look forward to hearing your guys' feedback. Please rate the show on whatever podcast app you're listening to it there. Leave a review if that's an option for you. Come on over to YouTube and go down below the bridge where all the trolls live and leave some comments in the comment section. Give it a like, give it a thumbs down. You can follow the show over at Twitter with @dadsclass and on facebook.com/dadsclass. We have a page there. Not as active on the Facebook as I would like to be for the Dad's Class. I had some ideas, but I just honestly don't know how to fit it all into my schedule. Trying to make sure to give my kids as much of this additional time we've been granted due to the ongoing COVID-19 situation. And it's tricky to balance those things sometimes. would like to get in touch with me personally, you guys can come on over, email me at crownesso@gmail.com, CROWNESS, the number 0, @gmail.com. You can also find me on Twitter, You can also find me over on Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, Xbox, and Discord with @CrownEsso. If you found today's class informative or inspiring, perhaps even, share it with your friends, see what they have to say about it. Until next class, guys, be sure to review these suggested lessons over here and educate yourself with another Dad's Class. Thanks for listening. And then I do a little dance for the YouTube ending. Da 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 da.